This is our chat with Ian of AxamentA. If you are not familiar with this crew, you may want to dive right in to their stuff on Spotify. If you really want to get a handle on how absolutely talented and slightly bonkers these guys are, check them out on YouTube. We talk in the interview a few about their videos, like how to drink tea like a man and blast Christmas. If you haven't checked them out, go get them. Treat yourself.
He's not a Frenchie. He's a Belgie. Take it away.
Really admire, your blend of just this great dark music with this humor twist. We've just been obsessing over it. Yeah, I've discovered quite a bit. So
All
love you
right,
guys.
cool. Thanks.
Okay. No.
So I'm trying to figure out what AxamentA meant. And when I Googled it, it came up with it was this religious hymn and sectarian measure by the Sali. Is that where you came across it, or is it just a put together word?
That is what it means, yeah, and that's what the guys that started the band chose as a band name. But actually, AxamentA was founded in 1991, and I was 11 then, so I was not in there by that time. Was three guys, and they wanted to make death metal, so they started the band. Then I think two guys left. Four other guys joined. One of them, including Peter, who is still our vocalist. One of them, a funny anecdote, was Yves Hutz, who played in Epica for 10 years as a bass player. So we went and found something else to do. And then only in 2002, I think I joined. And then the rest of the band the next year, I think, joined. So we were stuck with that name at that moment. And we kept it. So I think it's indeed something with heavenly chants, something.
Yeah.
There was a moment that we actually hated the name in 2008. We stopped AxamentA because the vocalist had problems with his vocals. He couldn't do live gigs anymore. And then we thought, okay, that's a good point, a good starting point now to go for clean vocals, to do more progressive music, and to change finally that band name because we hated it. But then we fell into we underestimated doing a band name change that you have to completely start at the beginning again. I was
Yeah.
not prepared for that, so.
Yeah.
So now we took the band name again because we knew we had some bit of following from the mid 2000s, so we can already have them back.
I
So yeah,
really like the thing you've come up with. Can I get an amen? And having the front and the back fall in, that makes it stick, That
yeah,
was really smart.
yeah. It was just something. I think like half a year ago we were saying. All of a sudden, I don't know who came up with it. Who came up with it, but all of a sudden, hey, damn, Amen is actually in our band name. We never realized that. So it was, yeah, it was already written down in the list for 6 months ago that we would use that to in our promo campaign. Yeah, what a lucky coincidence.
Yeah.
The shirt's amazing too, with the palm with the eye. I love it.
Yeah, thanks.
So for you, what got you kind of into extreme music initially, and how was your family supportive of that?
My family has always been very, very supportive. I've never been really into the really extreme stuff. I think I started at 15. I actually, before 15, I never listened to music. It was just something I was playing with my friends and playing soccer and things like that, and no, I didn't listen to any music. And then my nephew got me into it, or cousin, I'm not sure. So the guy, the son of my uncle.
Okay.
He was playing a bit of guitar. He was playing Nirvana and Metallica and Iron Maiden and Megadeth. And then I also, oh, that's actually quite cool. I also picked up a guitar and started playing. And then, yeah, the world opened up to me. And then I found like bands like Dream Theater and Pain of Salvation and Symphonix. That's the music that I like. Haken now, Periphery, things like that. never really went. I played in a black metal band before, but yeah, it was not really my style of music.
Gotcha.
The really black and dead stuff. Although in Belgium, that's the stuff that people go wild for that. The
I wanted to
really,
ask you about that. What are some, like, we really like the new Aborted album, and then they're from
yeah,
Belgium. Is there like,
yeah.
what are some bands that are in the Belgian metal scene? How, is it like thriving or?
Well, to be honest, I just, yeah, how do you say that? Reacquainted myself with the Belgian metal scene because I've been, yeah, as I said, from 2008, we stopped. Then I played in a pop band for 6 years. I had no idea anymore what were the big bands, but now since, yeah, the last half year, I've rolled back into it. I see some bands like Cobra the Impaler doing really very cool stuff. Really, really, I yeah. The thing is, before in Belgium, you had you had good bands, but they were always like a bit of, yeah, that's a good band because they sound like another band. Like
Oh, right. Right. Yeah.
there were no real um innovative bands. They were all like a copy, a bit of a lesser copy of existing bands, and then you could actually make, yeah, say, why not just listen to the good version of that they're trying to copy. But now you have really bands that are really breaking the mold and really doing awesome stuff. So Cobra the Impaler is one. Hippo Tractor, I'm not sure if you heard of those guys.
No.
Both of them actually just released an album. They're
Okay.
going both on tour. They're really, for me, that's like the top of the Belgian scene, it seems, at the moment. And then you have like a Coffin Feeder with the vocalist of Aborted.
Okay.
Um, and Aborted itself, of course. That's, yeah, that we used to play with those guys back in the mid 2000s on a lot of bills, but they're still doing their thing. So that's crazy how long they've been doing this. Yeah, respect. But yeah, that's, and for the rest, you then have like the really the trash bands that really do like the 80s trash, and you still have the death metal bands that do the 90s death metal, and the black metal bands that do the 90s black metal. But um, yeah, those other two, Hippo Tractor and Cobra the Impaler, that's like the new, for me, the new really great bands from Belgium that are probably going to you will probably hear from in the coming years. It has very long been that artists in Belgium, not only the musicians, but also not only in metal, but also in pop and in rock. When you're from Belgium, it was also always seen like it's very difficult to get anywhere as a Belgian artist. I
Yeah.
think the last 10 years it has changed a bit, but yeah, I don't know how come that it's like that, but has always been like that. So maybe
There's,
part of the. Sorry, you wanted to
yeah.
ask something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you think it's because like the advent of like you can put yourself out on Spotify? You don't, need a label. You can put yourself out on YouTube. You don't need, approval. Do you think that makes it easier to kind of get out there?
I think so, yeah. I think those bands back then, they needed the label, and as I said, I think it was back then also for a Belgian band really difficult to get signed, especially on the bigger label. There were some small ones, but then still you get like some small tours, etc. But that's it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's part of the reason. Indeed, now as well, we do it ourselves, and it works a bit. It's difficult, but I can see it work if we just continue doing what we're doing for other bands as well. And let's see what happens. But indeed, it's much easier now to get your music out than it was 10, 15 years ago. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, you guys are very good at making an impression. The videos are very funny. a lot of the songs are just very interesting. I mean, do you ever feel like people might not take you seriously because you're humorous? Sometimes in metal you get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I lie awake of that during the night. The problem is I really have it's really difficult for me to take myself serious.
Yeah, me too.
So
Yeah.
I always said we will never put jokes in our music itself, but apart from that, it's so difficult for me to make a serious video clip
Yeah.
because it's so by the end of the day, it's all fake. It's all it's all bullshit. We make music that we like, but why would we all of a sudden dress in black and look like we're evil and
Yeah, yeah.
we're not like that at all. So it doesn't make any sense to portray ourselves like that just to sell an image. Yeah, I don't see the, but sometimes I think, yeah, but indeed, are people going to think that we're mocking them or that we think of ourselves as a joke that we shouldn't be taken serious and that's yeah, we have to, I think we have to see in the next year or so what are the reactions on the video clips and then we can maybe still pivot a bit, although we will still I don't see myself making a 4-minute video clip without putting some
Yeah, yeah.
joke.
Well,
Yeah.
I heard Primus in the late 80s and I thought, no one's gonna buy this. This is ridiculous music. Songs about fishing and the weird voice. And then of course 5 years later they were like headlining Lollapalooza. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe that they got popular the way they did. So
yeah,
you never know. And
yeah,
every song of theirs was funny, so you never know. So,
yeah. But that's like a stage further. That's really the songs themselves that are funny. And I love bands like Etta, like now Electric Callboy. I
yeah.
think that's amazing. I want to do something as well like that, but yeah, it would be completely insane to try that with AxamentA, and it's our story is completely gone. But yeah, I love stuff like that as well, like Mr. Bungle. It's
Yeah, yeah.
really
I don't
some of
think
my
I
favorite
think those
bands.
bands were at the right time. Like I don't think that if they had hit like 5 years earlier or tried, I don't think that like the 90s were weird, I guess. So they were ready for the
Yeah,
weirdness of the 90s.
yeah.
Yeah, here or locally we have Dog Fashion Disco, which has been a long running act, and they are always, dark songs, but also with the dark humor, and it really works
Tons
well.
of orchestration, tons of different instruments and
Mm.
But when I hear your music and I like it, and then I look you up on Metal Archives and I see that Dungeons and Dragons
yeah,
picture,
yeah.
it immediately makes me like you that much more. It's not
All
five
right,
grimy guys
cool.
covered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Does
Yeah,
anyone actually play?
no, actually no.
That was a
No.
great shot, or you guys on the playground or somewhere else, or somebody's balancing a ball on their head. It makes me that much more interested. This isn't the run of the mill five grimy guys.
Yeah.
I like it. It shows the intelligence. It makes me that much more interested.
Okay, cool. So that means that it's working on
It's
some
working.
people
Yes,
already.
100.
Yeah, good.
We listen to a lot of music, so we're very
Yeah.
picky.
So I was really intrigued with the creation of Blast Christmas. I immediately wanted an entire Christmas album from you guys as soon as I
She kind of drove me crazy with it. Like she played it over and over again. Yeah, she
Really.
really likes it. Yeah.
So what was kind of the impetus for that getting kind of put out there?
In the yeah, the idea was actually for this album Spires to come out way earlier. And we just wanted to have already a few songs before. I read a lot of stuff on the internet and about Spotify and algorithms and how to promote yourself as a band and a lot of difficult stuff. And well, one of the things that came out was that they said don't start with your best material because the algorithm will say who's this new band. What the hell? We're not going to show this to anyone. So my idea was, well, the idea was at that moment, we're going to release a few songs, like 2 or 3 before, and then we will have Spires. Of course, that last Christmas is like a year and a half old. So in the end, we had so many issues that it took a very long time to release it. But the idea was to have a few tracks. And I remember being in the kitchen doing something, and Last Christmas was on the radio because it was like the 21st or something of December. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, Blast Christmas. That's going to be so funny. And I put it in my WhatsApp, and immediately the guys were sending lyrics back of, yeah, we can do this and this. Like,
That's great.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, or I ate the heart. I or don't remember the lyrics anymore, but and we actually put that together in like 3 days to still have it released before Christmas.
That's great.
But in the end, we didn't put it on Spotify because we thought, yeah, it's maybe a bit too silly to to have this as our first official song in like 15 years. So we didn't do it. And the other covers we also didn't do. We had some Katy Perry lined up and some other stuff, but in the end, we would have to put too much energy in those covers instead of just putting it in the EP. So we chose that. And luckily, otherwise it would probably still not be out. So
What's the so what was the who had the idea for the how to drink tea like a man thing? Because I've watched that several times and I'm still getting my head around it, you know.
well, the drummer showed us an Instagram channel that only shows breakdowns of songs. Like, but it's insane that the new, like, it's especially progressive metalcore. Those breakdowns are insane. I've never heard stuff like that. It's always like silence, then some scream, something really evil, and then like a truck driving in your house,
Right.
like, and then the images were always so gnarly, and so sometimes also a guy, that was what how I came with the idea. There was a guy singing, and he was headbanging, but he was just sitting on his chair. So it was like, man, I've never seen that before. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then I was thinking, like, what if we're all 5 just sitting at a table and like headbanging like crazy? And then the idea came of, let's do like a high tea British
Yeah.
thing, like eating crumpets or I don't know what. And
Did
then
you actually
then
have
do
tea in that pot?
yeah. And we ate all that stuff, and we were like, we didn't drink any alcohol, and we were all hungover the next day from the sugar. We were really sick.
It's great.
Oh, it was super, super smart. I like the way you did the little disclaimer. We're not a metalcore band.
Yeah, indeed, because it actually went on that channel. Then we then said we recorded something especially for this channel, and they allowed it.
I know what you mean though. Those breakdowns, they're almost like jump scares in horror movies.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of that, you know.
yeah, it's funny
It's so
stuff.
intense, you know.
Yeah.
So what was kind of the catalyst that got you out of hiatus and back into recording Spires?
Yeah, it was like a lot of bands, Corona, yeah, the lockdown here
Yeah.
in Europe. And there was a guy that has like a YouTube channel, and I guess he was also bored. He didn't have any work anymore, and he said, "Let's do a top 100 best Belgian metal songs ever." And we came up all of a sudden after, yeah, we stopped in 2008, and it was 2020, and we were at, yeah, in the top 50 with a song, and we were like, oh, there are still people that seem to care for us, and we were already in a group, and yeah, I proposed, like, yeah, wouldn't it be funny to release a new song, but just like a track, and then And then I was thinking, yeah, but maybe it would be cool if we would release like a long track, like to really show that we can still do it. That was but not really doing anything with it. And then we went to drink one time after like when the lockdown was done, and then we would still say, yeah, we should really start working on a track. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, we should really start working on it. And nobody did anything. And then we had a barbecue planned like 2 months in advance, and I thought as a joke, I had well, it's an elaborate joke. I thought I had some time off. Why don't I just make the whole track and then show it to them during the barbecue? And it was like, yeah, it was like the first version, a 17-minute song. And I said, yeah, actually, that track we talked about, I made it. You want to hear it? And then they yeah, we went into a room, they listened to it, and they said, and we all looked at each other, and they said, yeah, okay, let's start the band again. Let's do this.
That's
So
cool.
that was the start, and then
I'm
it was
also
2
curious,
years
what kind
of labor.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my gosh. What kind of food do you have at a Belgian barbecue?
Meat.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, if it was we call it, yeah, like a man's barbecue, and then it's just meat, nothing else. If there are women involved, then it's a lot of salads and all these kind of
That's true.
fancy
Yeah.
things.
The same here. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's, yeah, probably very very similar to what you do in the States. Although I sometimes see in movies that you like make burgers and things like that, and we sometimes do that, but that's not really typical for a Belgian barbecue.
Burgers and ribs and hot dogs and corn on
Speaking
the
of
cob.
speaking
Yeah,
of
hot dogs
Belgian bands, I might be wrong, but is the band Brutus from Belgium with the girl
Uh,
drummer? The girl
yeah, yeah,
drummer?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow, they're really something. Yeah.
yeah.
They don't sound like anybody else. I mean, you
No,
know.
it's really cool. Yeah, they always, there's like a top 100 in on our one of our rock radios
Yeah.
stations. They do a top 100 every year,
Yeah.
and of all metal over the whole world, and they were like number 1 and number 2 last
Wow.
few
Yeah.
years. So yeah, they're really they have a massive following here. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the first time I saw the video of her, she was just sitting and singing, and I didn't realize she was the drummer. And then she starts,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my God, she's the drummer!"
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah,
I haven't seen them live yet, but it seems it's yeah, it's quite a spectacle. It's quite how do you say that, confusing for people that Belgian metalers that yeah, were already a metaler in the 90s, because there was also a Dutch Brutus, which was
oh,
really a death metal band.
okay.
And now
Yeah.
it's sometimes now as well being said Brutus, I thought you meant the Dutch death metal band.
Ah, okay, yeah. Well, we've talked to a lot of drummers, and a lot of them say, or that sing, and a lot of them say that they can't do both because either the drumming would suffer or the singing would suffer. But
Mm,
there's some that can still pull it off, and she's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah. No.
yeah, you don't see that often, huh?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because like we were explaining nuts, you gotta like sing to the side, so you're basically drumming blind,
Yeah,
you know?
and they're already doing like 4 different things at the same time. It's
I heard they're
yeah.
really taking over some of the festivals. Like people are walking away from the festivals going, wow, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, back to this album. I love how dark the cover is on Spires, very different than the Ever Architecture looking. But I with the Ever Architecture, you kind of had all those hidden things in it. Are there hidden things in Spires artwork?
In the artwork, maybe, yeah, a few details maybe, but no, it's not. Yeah, in Ever Architecture, we put like, I'm not sure if you saw the booklet ever with all the newspaper articles, and we put like, especially the other guitar player, he did all the artwork, Sven. Back then, he was like months of work
I
in
believe it.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it took him. He made every article from scratch.
That can
This
take
one,
longer than
we,
doing the
we
music, you know, like
yeah, indeed. Yeah, we're like we never can do something like just okay, yeah, just put a artwork on there and the lyrics. Although we did that a bit now for the EP because we decided 1 week before the release that we were going to print CDs. So
okay.
that was a really last minute thing. But yeah, we've always been of the idea of if we're going to do artwork, why not put some thought in it and do something that has never been done before, or do something really interesting or unique with it. Yeah, so indeed. But now for Spires, actually we did not really do that, no. Yeah.
Does look like a movie poster.
It does.
Yeah, we just loved the artwork so much. So
Yeah, yeah.
we didn't do it ourselves either. It's made by Darren Leach, one of your fellow Americans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I know he does a lot of thriller albums. So I knew him from my other profession, let's say.
Okay.
He
Oh.
makes like half of the album covers in that scene. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's so dark and foreboding. Um, the concept for Forever Architecture kind of you had that it was like 3 chapters that it kind of divided. What was the chain reaction that keeps getting referenced?
Yeah, oh my God, I did not dig back in the in that insane story that we cooked up back then, but it had something to do with the fact that our idea was a person dying will reincarnate, but not just in the, let's say you die and then somewhere in India at the same time somebody gets born. Our theory was that they get reborn, but not linked, how do you say, to time. So they could be born again in the 1600s, that soul, let's say. And then he dies, and then he borns again somewhere else in 2300, whatever. And then if you take that theory and you take it further, it means that actually every person on Earth that has ever lived is the same person, actually, because he always reincarnated to
Right.
another person. And our idea was that there is some sort of higher reality that takes energy from that loop. And then at some point, they merge the first and the last person. So the very first person is the first song, and the last person is the second song. That's the introduction of those 2 characters. He's the very first person who's really implemented on Earth to start reincarnating, and then you have the very last person, and then on that bridge in England over the Thames, they get merged, and that's the chain reaction because then the loop starts over.
Okay.
That's the
Oh,
idea.
I got it.
It sounds like a major motion picture. Yeah.
If Netflix is watching, we're open to
Yeah.
offers.
Open to offers. Yeah.
But I want at least Tom Cruise
Okay.
feature.
There you
Yeah. Otherwise, it's no deal.
go.
This so Spires is kind of a continuation of that universe. So where does the story pick up?
Well, actually, on that same bridge, there is a church. Well, not on the bridge itself, but on the mainland. And there lives a priest who has been, yeah, he's been ridden with guilt because his brother died years ago. He drowned, and he still feels guilty about that. So that's what drove him to the clergy, and so he's living in that church. And in the last weeks of he has been seeing a lot of strange phenomena in his church, like small children in dark clothes in the middle of night running through his church, black liquid that comes down from from the walls, like a machine rumbling that he hears. And it's actually because I think in Act 6 there's some references about it, that he sees people fighting on the bridge, and that's actually the last song of Ever Architecture, where the first and the last person are fighting and then they get merged together. So he sees that. And actually all those strange things that are happening, like those horror things happening in the church, that's actually just the how do you say that, the reality manifesting itself, that energy that is going to be released by merging them at that place at that time is manifesting itself already a few weeks before that, something like that. Yeah, so he's just a bystander that witnesses an event that happens in Ever Architecture, but that's something we did to link it to the story. Yeah.
I love the intricacy of it. I agree. This definitely should be a major motion
Yeah.
picture. This is better than The Matrix.
Yeah. I noticed on the last album the song titles are longer. This one, they're all one word. Was that kind of done on purpose?
Yeah, I actually like, I think it's just like a stylistic thing also for maybe now in the 2000 in this era, that it's the thing that bands do, and it, for me also, it feels better to have like shorter titles than to have some very long and pompous thing of words that nobody understands. I'm not into that anymore. And it's basically something when I made like an outline of the story, I put those things already in there, like Act 1, and then I just Googled on Wikipedia what are the parts of a cathedral. And let's do like every time where they are in the story. They're first at the hallway, because in the first song he actually is doing his mass, and then he gets visions, and he he tells everyone to get out of his church. He's like a lunatic all of a sudden, and he drives everyone off, and he's then at his the narthex. It's the like the front gate of the cathedral. And then the story goes, he goes to the pulpit, he goes into the crypt, and then he goes up to the spires, yeah, in the last one. So just something I wrote at the very beginning, and it stuck there. Yeah, we never replaced it, so everyone thought it was cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
It reminds me of the end of Vertigo when he's got to go up to the top to meet his like fate. That's kind of like
it's similar. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, we play a game on the show.
All right.
Let's see what you think of the game. It's called Blaspheming Monikers. Okay. It's very simple. There's 5 band names in front of me. One is made up. So you're going to try to guess which one is not a real band. Okay. Okay. Sinister Pride, Sinister Sacrament, Sinister Urge, Sinister Superstar, and Sinister Wand.
And one of them doesn't exist.
One of them is not real. 4 of them are actual bands.
Sinister Wand is really a stupid band name, but who knows? Who knows? There might be. I hope they're not watching, but Sinister Urge is also quite specific. Well, it can be. My mind already goes in a very wrong place with hearing that, but maybe they meant it differently. I'm going for the Wand.
Sinister Wand. They're traditional heavy metal from Boston. And they have a couple of demos, 2021. So
yeah, an annex to that, I wanted to say it's a stupid band name, unless if it's power metal, it's okay. then it works.
Or like sleaze metal, because it could be like, check out my Sinister Wand, baby. You know?
Oh no, put that away.
It could be like a double entree type of thing. All right. So that leaves Sinister Pride, Sinister Sacrament, Sinister Urge, and Sinister Superstar.
Sinister Superstar, really, yeah, I see that working. It's I don't know what kind of, yeah, they're probably some new metal or something with hip hop influences or something. I don't know. Let's do Sacrament.
Sinister Sacrament is from Gibraltar, of all places. They have one full length. They're like a Black and Doom. I think it's one guy too, because the picture on Metal Archives is just one guy with the holding the goat head. So
I'm not doing well.
no, the one that I made up was Sinister Urge. That's not real.
Ah, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
Sinister Superstar is actually black metal from South Africa. They have 4 EPs and one full length.
Black
Some of these
metal.
names. Sinister Pride is from Pennsylvania. Yeah, really weird.
Okay.
I just wonder how unanimous these names are when they get picked, you know.
Sinister Superstar, a black metal band. I don't see that at
Yeah.
all working.
Yeah, I'm sensing a language barrier issue there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
they speak Dutch there, so
yep. So
It was Crosby. It was like some
It-
reference to Bill Crosby.
there was one that had like a reference to Bill Cosby. It was like
bad Crosby
like-
or something. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Yeah, anyway. So bad band names. Yeah.
All right, so I had a few.
You should feel better about your band's name now.
well, yeah.
So I loved your guitar playthrough of Synopsis. It was neat to see how fast you fly on those melodic parts.
Yeah.
Was that hard to master for you, or is that something that kind of came naturally?
No, that doesn't come naturally to me. No, I'm yeah. How to say that? I was a much better guitar player back in 2005, 2006 when we recorded Ever Architecture. I watched like 10 years later a video of me playing stuff there in the studio, and I was like, damn, I'm never able to do that anymore. But now I practice a lot now with writing the new stuff and having to, of course, record it. It's always better that you really, really can play the riffs really good before hitting record, because you can still, yeah, you hear it if you like just barely get through them. You can then, if you want, you can put all the notes correct, etc. But still, you hear it. So I rather really make sure that I can really nail the part in one go. I of course I don't play a 23-minute song in one pass, so I did it
Right.
riff by riff. But yeah, last year I practiced a lot to be able also for this playthrough. I had to really practice a lot, especially that last part. That was not easy.
Yeah.
And I probably now, if you give me a guitar, I will not be able to do it anymore. I'm already lost it again, but yeah.
Yeah, for whenever I see old footage of me, I always just say, was I really that skinny? Wow. That's what I always
Yeah.
forget the guitar. I'm like, I want to look like that again, you know. So,
Yeah.
So when you flip it over for like the slide guitar parts, what is that instrument you're using to kind of draw that out on it?
Well, the actual instrument that is used on the album is like a virtual instrument that I programmed. So all the orchestra and all the special instruments are all programmed. But now for the video, I thought like, yeah, now there is like a part where there's no guitar. So what am I going to do? So then I remembered I did that once with a spoon on your acoustic guitar. It actually works and it sounds similar. So I recorded that. So what you hear in the playthrough is actually the spoon part.
wow.
So that's not, I took out the album instrument and I replaced it with the spoon thing. It's just an acoustic guitar with a spoon. So nothing else, but it sounds quite cool, yeah.
I liked your upside down glasses too. That was good.
Yeah.
So for Pulpit, did the same vocalist do all three, like the harsher, the kind of cleaner, and like the whispers, or was it different people?
No, there are a lot of vocalists on our album. So We have the really the Shagrat voice, let's say, the vocals on the verse. That's Niklas. That's a guy we knew from also from 15 years ago. We shared stages with a lot. He now plays in a band Artifacts that are also going to release their album. Really, really amazing vocalists. He also did like the voice or the spoken parts. He was
Who did the
he's
like John Anderson from Yes parts, the super melodic stuff towards the
that's
end of it?
That's Sven Dupont, also a guy we already know from a long time. He did all the backings and the very high stuff. He's
Yeah,
also amazing vocalist.
really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also the guy recording the vocals, he was like, damn, because yeah, all the lines that he did, you can then run like a vocal tuner on the lines afterwards to still see if it was okay, and all his parts were like didn't
yeah,
have to change anything. It was like a straight line. Amazing.
yeah.
The whispers I just recorded here, I whispered. That was easy enough. And then the chorus, that is me together with backings from Sven, and then also a third vocalist, Louis, who also did like fried vocals.
Right.
So it's really like three
A lot of
different
different textures. Yeah.
vocals that you hear. Yeah, yeah. And then our main vocalist, Peter, he did all the grunts and in all the album. Yeah.
I also
So,
really liked Crypt. It was so creepy and foreboding. And I was like trying to figure out if it was like the priest going crazy because of his guilt and hallucinating, or if it was like actual specters.
well, it's the priest that is seeing like a how do you say that, like the an image of his brother. That is then the clean vocals is his brother that is talking to him. Um, yeah, that's a bit of the story between that. He says then, uh, don't forget that you let me die in the lake, things like that. And yeah, indeed, that song for some reason seems to resonate with most people because we keep an eye on a bit on the Spotify stats, and for some reason that one is sticking out. I was expecting it would just be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that order, that people drop off after a while, but no, that Act 4 for some reason is doing very well. So we know what people want for the next album.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in that. It's a short EP. I mean, are you going to kind of stick with that format, or are you going to go? Do you see yourself going back to like a 40-minute record, or
Well, our Ever Architecture was 64 minutes, which
Right, right.
way too long. Took way too much time. The idea is now to yeah, we don't want to fall in the trap of now saying, okay, now we're going to make a great album and then be gone again for 3 years. That's we want to keep the momentum going, and the plan is to at the end of the year already to have a track released, and then do something like every 2 months release a track, just to yeah, you have to play the game now, eh?
Yeah,
Like the algorithm game. You
yeah.
cannot stay silent for 2 years and then expect everyone drops everything to listen at your stuff. So we're going to do it like that. We're working actually on 2 EPs at the same time now. So with an even crazier story.
I can't
Completely
wait. I'm
separate
so glad that you said
from the
that.
other, but yeah, it seems to be it looks it's going to be quite good. Yeah. I'm positive, yeah.
When you were talking about reading about the algorithm, I will try that, and then after a while, I can't stand it anymore because I think it contradicts itself, and nobody really knows for
No,
any of
yeah.
these social media apps. Nobody really knows. They just, I think they reverse course, without us
Mm,
knowing.
yeah.
You're not supposed to
Yeah.
really know.
I don't like it either. I'm happy that on YouTube our album itself, the video that just plays our album, and the video clip are doing. Yeah, the video clip is already doing a bit less, but the album is doing quite well. We have like, I think, around 5,000 views now, which is not bad.
Right.
Other videos that we release, sometimes they don't do anything. It's like 10 views and then it dies. So I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah, you ever get any really weird feedback comments, like crazy comments?
Not yet, no. All the comments were super positive at the
That's
moment,
cool.
so we're so grateful. Yeah. No, nothing strange. I think we saw one. I can't remember anymore. It was not on our video. Some other channel asked the first day that it got released. They asked, can we post it on our channel as well? And we said, yeah, okay, that's fine. And there was like a comment like completely out of the blue, like, this is bull, this is shit, and like like really so over the top that, yeah, okay. So we could tick off that box, like our first hate
Yeah,
hate comment. So that means that we're doing something good,
you're
I
doing
think.
something
We
right. Yeah, you're
get
breaking
hate
away
comment.
from friends and family.
Yeah,
That's what that means.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, we get weird questions like, do you guys write your own reviews? Like, who else would write them if we didn't write them?
Would
Like,
we
what-
be reading someone
reading
else?
someone else's
Kind of
reviews? It's
pointless.
just kind of whatever, you know. Yeah, but we write them all. In your review, I said that that one song sounded like Shagrath walked in on Toto rehearsing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. That was great. I love that. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Very unique. Yeah, I've not heard it before, and never will I ever again, probably. But it was,
Well, I
yeah,
mean, those two voices couldn't be more different. I
put a
mean, the
smile on
song
my face.
starts off like Thorns or something, and then by the end, it's like John Anderson. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So really something.
I will let Sven know that he's a massive Toto fan. He even has
Oh
the
yeah.
guitar from Lukather.
Oh,
Our
he does.
he's
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's great. I see.
cool.
I had no idea. I was just shooting in the dark there. But
Yeah, yeah, no, it was
they
bullseye.
won. They won so many Grammys. They really did well. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were huge. Yeah.
Amazing band. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I was like buying albums when I was a girl, and I was between H2O and Toto. And I was standing there for so long. My dad was like, here's the extra money. Just buy them both. I was like,
Well, Toto were a little more than like Survivor. They had like some Steely Dan connections or something, I think. They were musicians.
Yeah.
They weren't just like playing like, you know, I don't know, brainless AOR. I mean, they
No, no. And
yeah.
it's still, yeah, the music is still awesome, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah. And Steely Dan,
Mm.
yeah, also damn, what a band.
A
Fuck.
band that can say, we don't feel like touring anymore. And the record label goes, okay. Because they're selling so many records that's
Still?
just crazy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I really love the Spires video. Where did that dramatic first sequence? Was that like inspired by something or a
Oh, the
parody
guy
of
and the
something?
girl? The
Yeah.
guy and the girl thing, yeah. With the
With
car.
the car and the earring and
Yeah. Oh, we've been working on that for a year. I'm not sure anymore how the brainstorm went, but yeah, we're a new band now. We don't have any funding, or we have to pay everything from our own pocket. So we said we have to do it ourselves, but because we cannot pay a crew for this. So I started buying some gear, doing some courses, some YouTube movies about everything, and then I realized, oh fuck, it's so hard. It's not just pointing and shooting. This is like color
Uh-huh.
grading and editing and all that stuff that come and understanding how a camera works to begin with, and the yeah, the what do you call it, light, yeah, how lighting works,
Oh
how to
yeah, there's so
light
much
it.
to that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. And then I thought, yeah, we have to make a video clip, but it has to be something that I know that we can pull off with the little knowledge that we had. So then I was thinking, yeah, maybe let's do like an 80s or 90s last scene of an action movie, and then when the credits roll, our song starts. Like it's that
Right.
like that they chose our song as end credits.
Right.
And then we just had some friends doing the parts, and we know some really special people like that. Yeah, that guy that did he's like a known very colorful person here in the region, so it was perfect for that. And then yeah, we went from
Your
there.
video where you wanted feedback and then you'd put us on the credits. We got on there. We're a confused 3-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was very clever marketing, kind
Yeah, it
of,
really
you
was.
know,
Yeah.
get people
I've never seen that
interested,
before. Yeah.
and then they're already interested in you, and then they're gonna watch, you know, the whole thing. So that was very clever.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
had to
that
watch it really close, like, right, back it up, you know, it was, yeah.
yeah. The idea was that people then would like share it as well, saying, "Look, I've made it in a video clip." That was the idea as
I'm
well.
the 93rd line down is me. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I said before as well. If we do a video clip, why not put something unique in it? And then yeah, I was really worried that with some things like that can completely fail, of course, as well, because it's so out of the box that it can be like, what are these guys doing?
I
But
know
I
what you
hope
mean.
it's still a bit, yeah, it could stand a bit on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love all the costumes for the dance scene. It looks like you guys went into like a thrift shop, and just the first thing you put your hand on is what you had to wear.
Yeah,
It-
we just put it, took it from our closet. Yeah.
oh, I love it.
Nothing special.
So how did you guys get into recording trailer music for like the horror pictures that you've done? And it's odd. It's was it on purpose that it's all horror movies?
No, that was just coincidence. So that yeah, that I've been doing music for quite a while. And then in 2018, or 2017, something like that. I was really like, I would be cool if I could make some money with music instead of always putting money in it and nothing working. And then I found like a course from people that show how trailer music is made and how you can make that as well, because most people think that trailer music is music from the movie. But that's not the case, because usually when the promo starts for a movie, the composer has to probably still needs to start with the score, because the composer is always at the complete end of the movie making process. So usually they start only the last 2 months or something. They start, and then the trailers are already on YouTube or on television.
Right.
And it's just a formula that you have to follow, like begin, middle, end, and then like a final, something like that. It's always the same, but you can really put like always a special ingredient in it. And I then worked for like 9 or 10 different trailer music companies. And then they say, for instance, okay, now we need music for like hip hop trailer adventure music for this type of music, like the Goonies type movies. And then there was also an album of a trailer company in Croatia, and they wanted a horror album with like organic horror, they call it. So it's like with very compressed wood clicks and like very sound design driven, with jump scares and very
Yeah.
really horror, like the trailers of horror movies you see now. And I made 3 songs for that album, and they got so much use. So indeed, the one got used in Old from Night Shyamalan, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And then
M.
another
Night
one,
Shyamalan. I didn't notice that on
yeah,
the old one.
Yeah.
Shyamalan, yeah, I always forget. And then one got used in The Pope's Exorcist, yeah,
Right.
and also in a few other things. So
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool way of working. Yeah, it's really fun. But in the end, I liked the group, the band thing more, and I got a bit tired of I had to make a song every week, at least one, and then after a while you get really completely numb and I was already as at the last weeks I was really fearing of going to my desk because I knew I had to make a song and will I have
Yeah.
the energy and the
Yeah.
creativity, and then like playing in a metal band is much more then it flowed out of me when I had to start with Spire, so it was a good good combination to do both.
Did you guys get lured out to play a festival live?
We had a lot of offers already since we
Good.
announced that we would be back. That's like 2 years ago. I think we had like maybe 15 or 20 opportunities already, but it's just not possible. We all have a family now.
Yeah.
Even if we do like that T video, we have like a good idea of let's do that T video. Okay, when can we meet? And then we have to launch a doodle, and then it's really like, okay, in 2 months we can all make it. So no way that we will ever be able to rehearse or to to get ready for a show.
I
It would take
understand.
years. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then we rather don't do it because it would probably not be good enough anyway for in our minds. So we'd rather not do it and just leave it like this and put our energy in making new music.
Well, good. I can't wait for the new stuff.
Yep, sounds
I'm
great.
completely obsessed and addicted already.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.